Hi everyone, it's Suzanne Wagner. Thank you for tuning in, and we are doing the numerology and the astrology for August 5th, 2020. If you add all those numbers together, you get the number 17, and if you add the 1 and the 7 together, you get the number 8. The number 8 in yogic numerology is related to prana and breath, and so it's about breathing in fully, breathing out fully. And so when stress comes in, we have a tendency to not breathe, and we contract our breath and we hold emotions in. And when we do that, they build and build and build and build and build and build, and then they explode out. So they tend to gap. They tend to leap over the heart chakra, and they start spewing energy everywhere. And especially right now, when you watch the news, you recognize that people have held in a lot of hate, a lot of resentment, a lot of anger for so long that it's toxified their first, second, and third chakras, and so it's built up to the point that it's leaping the gap of the heart chakra. So it's coming out the throat chakra and out the mouth with no discernment, with no balance, and it's toxic. It's this toxic spewing energy that goes all over everyone. And so today with this number 8 day, it's like it's a number of grief, loss, and sadness, and I get how stressed everybody is. I mean, I hear it as I talk to my clients all day. I get the fear factor is really high. I get that so many people are feeling intuitively like something massively big is coming, and their brain is trying to make sense out of this conflicting energies and these really intense waves of energy coming at them, and it's kind of freaking them out. And so I remind everybody to not make up a story about what you're sensing and what you're feeling. What I've done for myself throughout my life is that I had an experience and a sensation, and my ego definitely will try to define it in some way. And every time my ego tries to muck with it, it ends up distorting it. And so then when it happens later, it doesn't happen the way my ego said it would, but it actually did happen the way my intuition said it would. And so I've learned through making tons and tons and tons of mistakes over 60 years of my life, to be able to refine it and define it. And that's really what it takes. And so I just remind everybody that yes, big energy's coming in. Yes, something's coming in that you've never experienced before. Do not make up a story about it. Don't start blaming mates. Don't start projecting things onto other people that it doesn't belong to. Okay. Because, yeah, this energy is starting to get to everybody, and it's hard to maintain a center when everything you try to do gets more complicated and stressful. Everyone is in the same boat. Everyone is also miserable at their own edges. Take solace in the fact that you are not alone. Do not add stress to others. Do not direct your stress at them either. I know it's hard. You've been holding on to so much inside for so long, and you need to do something today that makes you breathe hard and heavy. That is because it is the number about prana and breath. When you're stressed, you will forget to breathe, and the toxic CO2 will build up in the tissues, and that just adds more stress to the system. You can do something about it. You can go exercise and release as much of that stress as you can. I know that it can be difficult to do, but you can either breathe that way or by lashing out, yelling and screaming, whichever you would prefer. In truth, you probably really need to cry. You need to let the tears fall down your face and just let it all go. The insanity of this world, the conflicts, the crazy people, the absurdity of social media, the trying to get to the truth from a world of chronic lying. Yes, it has been a lot. And you can only be strong for so long before the system needs to be turned off and reset. And you can do this, but you need to be aware of how exhausted you are and how much you need a break from it all. It is okay to admit that. It is okay to press the pause button. You'll be a lot better off on every level if you do. Okay, astrology today. Mercury went into Leo, and so hopefully your goals will clarify and your ability to express what you need and decisively move towards your goals will seem easier. There are other astrological and numerological issues that may dampen the enthusiastic energy of this aspect, but we can still cross our fingers. You are feeling the need to disconnect from so many obligations. While you want to enjoy yourself and engage with others, it also seems like a lot of effort. That is because so many are so stressed themselves. It is not possible to ignore their feelings, and while you love many people at certain times, you want to just be still and alone as you can in moments. You want to work with energies and situations, but you recognize that adjusting to the complex patterns of another personality who is under stress right now might be a bit much. There is a desire to not commit. There is a feeling that you want to run away instead of confront a challenge. With the Neptune Sun sextiling early tomorrow morning, work towards forgiving yourself and releasing yourself from such high expectations. It does not serve you to be beating yourself up for things that are not completely under your control. So, the quotes for today. This is actually from my blog yesterday, but I looked at it and was like, that's actually a pretty good quote. I should have used that. It's the one that was, humanity seeks blindly for meaning and purpose in the shallow graves of the past. My other quote for today is, wholeness is unified. Completeness is in let's start over. Wholeness is unified. Completeness is in the recognition that we are all one. Freedom comes from accepting all things as perfect as they are, and transcendence comes from walking away from those things that promote hate and fear. So, my blog for today. Escalation is a symptom of frustration. Okay, take that in for a second. Escalation is a symptom of frustration. You can feel it. You can feel that frustration rising like a tidal wave in the distance. You can feel the rumbling of discontent as it combines with the energy of others and decides to smash into the coral reefs of those that have instituted barriers to positive change and growth. You can feel that there have been those that have repressed and ignored for so long the suffering of the masses that the tide has drastically turned and it's moving more powerful than ever before towards a crescendo that will not be able to be stopped. Too many have placed their energy into that wave. None have the intention to remove any of that energy until this toxicity and hate is washed away and placed into the history books for those that do not intend to ever have such a moment repeat again. But mankind has a short memory. Within about 100 years, those that were alive are gone, and those that are alive remember not the suffering of their ancestors. The stories seem distant reflections of a time gone by and not remotely relevant to this new world in which they believe they live. Humanity loops in the lessons that are necessary for a soul's evolution. Hopefully, 100 years from now, there will be some souls that got the lesson and transcend this reality through the recognition that hate solves nothing, and that separation and holding the belief of duality is a direct line back into the karma that so many pretend to seek freedom from. Wholeness is unified. Completeness is in the recognition that we are all one. Freedom comes from accepting all things as perfect as they are. And transcendence comes from walking away from those things that promote hate and fear. Thanks, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Talk to you later. Bye.